You and I, we've got quite the volleyball career since I've retired going. Why don't you tell the viewers out there a little bit about our history as volleyball champions?
Ooh, I was wondering how you were going to set that up because champions is a very big stretch. We are bar league losers, is what I would actually call us. We show
Words.
up and everyone looks at us. You know, Joe 6'6", me 6'1". We've got some other former Badgers on our team, and everyone looks at us like, "Oh, let's just throw it in." And then we start playing. And then everyone knows that they have a good chance of putting a W in the column on that game because we are pathetic at best, I would say.
Yeah, apparently there's a lot of skill involved in the game of volleyball that you need like practice and experience to be good at. And unfortunately, neither one of us really played any volleyball growing up. So we just don't have any of the skills. But I will say we are getting a little bit better every single summer. And one of these days, we're going to win a Bar League championship and then celebrate with all of Badger Nation.
Now, don't you feel like it's like when you watch the Olympics, you're like, oh, I could totally do that. Or it's just, so it's volleyball is such a sport. When you're watching it, you feel compelled to play it. And you feel like I can totally do that. And then you get out there, and granted, sand is different than indoor, but you get on the court and it is such a technical game and it can go awry very, very quickly. And unfortunately for us and our teammates, it does go downhill very, very fast. But I think it's one of the most enjoyable sports, especially as an adult. I mean, we can play golf and you can go out with your friends, but getting together and playing in a volleyball game is so much fun.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you can do for a long time. Like I'm pretty banged up from my years as a football player, but sand volleyball, it's pretty gentle on your body. And my excuse usually when we lose is, oh, I'm more of an indoor volleyball player.
Yeah.
You know, sand's just not exactly always my game. And so I'm just here for my friends. I'm here for the party. But it is one of those sports where you watch it. It's just magnificent. And it's really taken the entire Madison area and all of Wisconsin by storm in these last few years because of the success of the women's volleyball program for the Badgers.
Now, do you think if they had men's volleyball or boys volleyball in high school, do you think that would have been a sport that you would have tried?
I don't think so because I'm not exactly sure when the season is, but I think it conflicts with football. I was a basketball player. I was tall. I could jump. So I feel like I got the skills necessary to be a volleyball player, but just because of the overlap in boys sports, I never really even considered it being a sport that I would play in high school.
Yeah, I mean, it was golf season for me, and being from one of three girls, if my father wanted to golf on the weekends in the summertime, he had to take us with him. So golf was just in our family. But now looking back, I mean, I wish I would have because it is such a fun sport and such a fun sport to play as adults. But yeah, I've always wondered what our kids will choose if they'll go that route, especially our son Jack, if that's going to be something that he wants to pursue. But I mean, you were an okay football player. Things turned out just fine for you. But think of the possibilities. I mean, you could have been playing in the Olympics in volleyball.
Well, think of the possibilities for you. Our volleyball team in the Sand Bar League wouldn't be so horseshit if you would have gotten off the couch and actually started to play a little bit of volleyball instead of trying to play golf during
I
the
feel like
season.
we have a bad connection here. I feel like we have a bad
But I
connection.
will say that you did have some highlights in the field house at Wisconsin because that's actually where they played the state girls tournament when you were coming up. And that's where the women's volleyball team for the Badgers currently plays. And it's an unbelievably electric atmosphere. You hear a lot of people talk about that's why they wanted to come to Wisconsin to play volleyball.